Sean Zittel, the Boxing Voice, joined by Rock Nation's own Michael Yormark. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing great. Excited about the big fight on Saturday night.
I think we all are, and I'm going to jump right into it. There was a grand arrivals today, and Sergey did what he's been doing in the entire lead up to this rematch. He looks over at Ward's camp and says, I'm going to punish him. I guarantee that. What has been your perspective on not just him saying that today, but throughout the run to this fight?
You know, it's all talk. You know, I think he actually pointed his finger at me when he was referring to, Rock Nation and people from Ward's camp, talking. I think the only person that's really been talking has been Sergey. I think, unfortunately, he just hasn't been listening to himself. But at the end of the day, as Andre said, you know what? All the talk goes by the wayside. You got to get into the ring. You got to show up on Saturday night, and you got to perform. We're not intimidated by that. We kind of laugh at it, to be honest with you. We're here, we're going to business. We look at Saturday night as going to the office and going to work, and that's what that's the attitude that Andre has, and that's the attitude that he's going to bring into the ring on Saturday night, and that's why he's going to be victorious once again.
Now, putting any possible animosity to the side, what is your objective feelings on Kovalev just as a fighter?
Listen, he's a great fighter. I mean, he's a great fighter. He's one of the best fighters in the world. There's no question about it. Pound for pound, I think he's ranked #2. So I mean, clearly, he's accomplished. He's well respected. He's in his prime, and he's very talented. From a fighter's perspective. And I think Andre would say the same thing. But at the end of the day, Andre is a very, very special athlete. He's a special fighter. He's a special individual, and ultimately, like he did in November, he'll come out of that ring victorious, and he'll go home again with those 3 belts.
Right now, what do you sense from your fighter, Andre SOG Ward? And is there any contrast, any difference between his mentality leading into this first fight and now?
It's a great question, because when I went to his open media training session 10 days ago, I saw something in Andre I hadn't seen before. There was just this aura of confidence. There was this comfort level that he was going through probably one of the best camps that he had ever been through. There's no question that this camp was even superior to the camp that he went through as a lead up to November. So there's a real confidence, with Andre. There's a confidence with his team, not a cockiness, but a confidence. They've worked hard. They've done everything that they've needed to do to prepare themselves for this moment. And so Andre's going to get into the ring on Saturday night. He's going to feel great. He's going to look great. He's going to have gone through a training camp that arguably was his best as a professional. And he's well prepared to go to battle and to go to work and to retain his 3 belts.
Does Andre make it look easy, somewhat easy Saturday night, or is Sergey the kind of guy you just got to beat and you might not? What do you think?
I think there's going to be moments during the fight where, Andre's going to make it look easy. And then I think there's going to be moments during the fight where he's going to be challenged. But what we saw in November, which I think was very, very telling, is that Andre adjusts really well. Those first couple of rounds, he got out of the gate a little bit slow. He had to adjust. And if you remember, before the fight, leading up to that fight, Andre said the fighter that's going to win is going to be the fighter that adjusts the best during the fight. Andre adjusted beautifully to what he saw during those first 3 rounds, and he was challenged during those first couple of rounds. But when Sergey became challenged, he wasn't able to overcome them. And so, I think Andre's, one of his greatest talents is his ability to course correct and to some degree even change his style perhaps to adjust to what the opponent is doing. So I think you're going to see a little bit of that Saturday night, most probably. And then there are going to be rounds, again, that you're going to see that you're going to say, wow, this looks really easy for Andre. And it's probably going to look easy because he's so well prepared. And as I've said since this fight was announced, I think the fight ends in a knockout. I really do. I mean, these guys don't like each other. There's not a lot of respect. I think these guys are going to get in there and bang. And somebody's going to hit the mat. And that fighter's not going to get up.
Now, Rock Nation obviously also has Kevin Durant, who just won finals of the NBA, the MVP of the NBA Finals last night. boxing is admittedly by most a niche sport. So how do you take a guy like Andre Ward and make him more of a household name like a Kevin Durant?
Well, I think, listen, it starts with, the strategy that we've built for Andre outside the ring, from a PR standpoint and really telling his story. I think over the last 12 months he's become more comfortable telling his story and letting people into his life, letting people understand who he is and, what kind of guy he is. And what,
very introspective.
Absolutely. And listen, he's allowed people into his home. He's allowed people to spend time with his children, his wife. People now understand who he is and what motivates him and what inspires him. That storytelling, that narrative is really important when you're building a brand. And then we've been really fortunate also to, have partnered Andre with some great brands around America. Last fight, this fight, which have also helped him increase his visibility, increase his exposure. Monster Products is a great example. They did a billboard in Times Square. They've done some billboards here in Las Vegas. He's got a great new partnership with them. Zappos is a new partner of his, and if you go on to Zappos.com, you'll see a page featuring Andre Ward this week and his fashion tips for Fight Week. I mean, these are things that we're doing that obviously are great partnerships for Andre, and they've been designed, quite frankly, to enhance his visibility and his exposure, and to again tell his story. I mean, Andre loves fashion. So why not partner with a company like Zappos, who's based here in Las Vegas, who's supporting the fight, and talk about fashion and what people should wear to the various events that we're hosting this week. So that's how you build it, right? You build it outside the ring. You try to increase his visibility and exposure. You constantly tell his story. You partner with great brands that are committed to partnering with him and telling his story as well. And before you know it, you become a household name.
And last one, Michael, thanks as always for your time. Adonis Stevenson, this is obviously looking ahead, but if Ward can be successful Saturday night, that's about the only guy left in the division. Is it going to be a problem to make a fight like that with the team of Al Heyman, or can that fight happen after this?
We don't like to get ahead of ourselves. Andre has never done that in his career. He never thinks about the next opponent. He's all about the moment. Listen, his name's been thrown out there. We're a very easy company to work with. So, if Andre chooses to go in that direction, the fact that he's managed by Al Heyman, is not an issue for us. We can make a deal with Al. The question is, what's Andre going to want to do after he wins on Saturday night? And that's only up to him. We'll support whatever he chooses to do. Andre has had a magnificent career. And I think at this point right now, he has the right to go fight to fight. And so after his victory on Saturday, we'll sit back, we'll enjoy the moment, and then we'll decide what's next.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.